AC Flora ranked 10th in the state of South Carolina for Class 3A high school basketball. And a foul coming up here on the Falcons. Dwayne, I was here a little more than a week ago. AC Flora played on this very floor. They played Richland Northeast. Matt Howard didn't play that night, and Flora gave R&E all it could handle. Here's the touch pass, Ryan Davis to Carl Gamble.
Very nicely done on the push. I really like to see that, when you distribute the ball on the break and not feel a need to pad it more than enough time to clear yourself. And I love it when young kids are smart enough to move the ball around without having to put it on the floor.
Darren Williams. Outside to Jared Scott. Back to Williams. Davis went for the steal, couldn't get it. Williams moves baseline, and a tough reverse shot, no good. Follow wouldn't go on the bank. Kept alive. Darren Williams, no, it dropped off right side of the iron, but Williams draws the foul.
I tell you, Darren Williams is fearless in the paint. At this juncture, I don't know that we've seen better individual play out of any one player. We've seen some exciting play, but as far as the impact during the course of a game, from the start to the finish, even Theo Pinson, who will obviously be an all-tournament player as well, but I don't think any player has impacted a game more than this 5'11" point guard, Darren Williams.
5 3-pointers yesterday for Darren Williams in Flora McDonald's victory over Miller School, and again he led all scorers in that ball game with 27 points. And like Dwayne told you, he's only about 5'9", maybe 5'10". He had a tremendous impact yesterday, and he was the most productive player on the floor yesterday. Now Matt Howard will go back to the foul line here. Dwayne, this is Matt Howard from AC Flora. Howard, 6'4" and a senior. Dwayne, outstanding in the classroom and received some college interest from a couple of Ivy League schools. In fact, He chose Penn over Harvard.
Exactly. And again, your hat goes off to kids who are able to excel on both sides in the classroom and in their respective sports. And this young man is obviously committed to being a student athlete. And Penn's a great school, a great choice, and I know he'll love it up there at Penn.
Loose ball on the floor, and AC Flora is after it with Frederick Kitt. That ball saved by Howard to Kitt, to Davis. Davis on the tip in. Followed his own miss, Dwayne.
Staying with it, that's the key anytime you're playing in any ball game. But in tough ball games, you're going to get a lot of hits. You're going to get a lot of things that are going to physically happen in major games like this, tournaments. There's going to be a little looser play, less whistle. You've got to be prepared and focused to go after balls that are getting knocked out of your hands, your arms getting hit, you're getting some low body checks. And at the end of the day, the kids who continue to bounce off that floor are going to be productive on the offensive glass.
Flora head coach Leon Brunson working the officials while we shoot free throws here. 7-5 in favor of AC Flora. And the Falcons bounce it into the high post here to number 12, James Murray Boyles. And he is sent to the floor. Actually, that was Davis sent to the floor, so the Falcons will get more foul shots here. And Dwayne, I was thinking about AC Flora. They produced the X-Man, Xavier McDaniel, NBA legend, and really in the time that since McDaniel left in the late 80s, Flora has not had a lot of good basketball teams, but they won a playoff game last year for the first time in almost 20 years, and it looks like Flora basketball finally starting to make a comeback.
Well, yeah, and off that same team, we'd be remiss by not mentioning the Utah Jazz head coach, who was also on that same team with Xavier McDaniel and Tyrone Corbin, who had a long career in the NBA. They went on to win a state championship right there at AC Flora.
Right, Rodney Taylor from AC Flora went on to play at Villanova for Rolly Massimino.
And the Prelo twins, who went to Wichita State, also products of AC Flora.
Travel call on long range as Jared Scott
Yeah, kids don't like that call, but they don't realize they've established a pivot foot, and on the streets, that's not a travel. But in the game of basketball, it is. Once you've established that pivot, you know, you can't change it, and they don't realize they're doing it. And you normally have to go to the film to show them this, you know, after a game to let them know exactly what's going on.
7-5 with this timeout on the floor. AC Flora leading Flora McDonald. We had a power outage in the Northeast Columbia area earlier today that resulted in the lights going out here in the main gym, but luckily we have an auxiliary gym that was added to the Richland Northeast campus a little over a year ago, and we had power in the auxiliary gym. So the game that was being played on this floor was moved to the other gym, and that helped keep us on schedule for the most part today. We're about 15-20 minutes behind schedule, but not nearly as bad as it looked like it could have been, Dwayne, when the lights were out in this gym for 45 minutes to an hour. Initially,
they were discussing these games being played close to midnight tonight. So, yeah, we got a lot of relief by the power company, SENG. They really worked fast and hard to get the power on in the area.
Here's a steal for Daquan Day Grant. And he cruised in on the right side and drew contact. Foul on the floor, so AC Flora will put it in on the baseline.
That's 2 fouls pretty early in this game for Darren Williams. Very important component to this basketball team. He'll have to be real careful now with his effort to go after the basketball. They don't need to lose him to 3 fouls too early in this ball game.
Ryan Davis for 3. Put it up strong, hit the rim twice, wouldn't go. And a rebound pulled down by 25, Rashad Anthony. And Anthony got the arm of one of his teammates wrapped up with that rebound. Fino Davis in the game now for Flora McDonald, and we've got a whistle, a foul on long range against the Falcons. Personal foul on Frederick Kitt for AC Flora, his first.
Tell you what, this is early into the first half to already be in the bonus. You know, this could be very dangerous for a team that's trying to play pressure defense, especially on Darren Williams, because following him around is going to be very difficult in this box and one matchup that they're using. We could see him at the free throw line several times this half.
One of 2 at the line for Darren Williams. Kitt looking for a screen, and he was fouled.
And if that is on Darren Williams, that's his third. Yeah.
Wow, picked up 3 quick ones here. And it looks like he will stay in the ball game. Stacey, you look at Flora McDonald, they've only got 3 kids on their bench. They're only dressing 8 today.
Ooh.
Now Williams on the floor.
Oh, yeah.
Loose ball out of bounds.
And trying to avoid picking up his 4th, he put himself in a vulnerable position there because he was kind of in no man's land, realized he couldn't get the charge, tried to bail. And anytime you're not firm and aggressive inside that painted area where everybody's banging and going, you have a tendency to get hurt, and that's what happened. It's unfortunate for the young man. Hopefully it's nothing serious.
Williams checking his lip, maybe his nose. Turnover right here. Pressure defense by AC Flora forces the turnover in the backcourt.
We might see a lot of that now, and we might even see additional pressure now that Williams is out of the game. It could be interesting.
You see Williams heading to the locker room, and he will get some medical attention. They got to stop that bleeding before he'll be able to come back in the ball game, but he does have 3 fouls. So perhaps he was due for a stint on the bench with those 3 personals.
Yeah, quite the fortuitous injury possibly to get him off the floor and save him for the second half.
Jared Scott, long strides into the lane and the bucket with the right hand.
As I was just talking, quite the move by the 6'7" senior there. Crossover from 20 feet out to get all the way to the rack without interference was quite the play.
Forrest Johnson helped block that shot of Matt Howard, and now taking it right to the rim is Jared Scott, and AC Flora will get a timeout call. A 5-0 Flora McDonald run here, and they've got the lead.
And that lead was quickly produced by back-to-back baskets by Jared Scott. And here you see Jared right now. He crosses over, gets in the middle, avoids contact. That's great body control there for the 6'7" kid, to do it. And here's the second basket as he goes to the right side. Last time was the left. He avoids the contact, takes the hit, plays right through the hit, and scores again. Both of those really fine plays from the post player in the absence of Darren Williams. Now you have him stepping up to handle the basketball. Seems to be the second best ball handler on the floor right now.
Flora McDonald only had 3 players score in the second half yesterday. In the first half. Only 3 players scored in the first half. Williams, Anthony, and Scott. And by the end of the game, 6 players had scored. Williams had 27, Scott had 25, Anthony with 7, and it was 1 point each for Richie Lewis and Forrest Johnson, and Howard scores for AC Flora.
Howard's got a nice solid game on him. He's playing sort of in the 4 position in high school. He'll be a 2 or 3 up at Penn, but the ability to play down in the paint at his size will help him well when he goes to college and moves outside.
Ashanti Day hitting that jumper for Flora McDonald. Dwayne, we've talked extensively about Darren Williams, who is not in the game right now, and that's why that is so significant for Flora McDonald. Williams scored about 40% of their points yesterday, and he is out of the game right now.
Yeah, and again, that's where Jared Scott steps up to possibly make up the difference.
Ryan Davis with another basket for AC Flora. He has been very solid early on here in the Chick-fil-A. Just a 10th grader. Look at this play by Matt Howard. He tipped it up into the air, out in front to himself for the 2-hand jam.
Great play at three-quarter court there to knowing that he couldn't grab it. He knocked it away, but he knocked it forward. And, of course, he rewarded himself with the two-handed stuff.
13-12, AC Flora on an 8-0 run, and that ends right there with the bucket by Rashad Anthony. (14-13) Flora McDonald and a baseline move, and we've got a held ball. Ryan Davis moved baseline and got pinned.
Great call by the official as he goes baseline. He got his hands on top of the ball. Yeah, there's a little contact, but there's always a little contact inside the paint. But when you get the ball first, the officials are really, really fair when they take your possession first and not the contact that comes after.
Picking up the loose ball is Daquan Day Grant. Davis, touch pass, foul line, Boyles off the front rim. And a rebound cleared by Rashad Anthony for Flora McDonald. Scott missed from 3. Howard the board for Flora. AC Flora running the floor to kick into the corner, deflected out. Good hustle play by Forrest Johnson to get back and knock that pass out of bounds.
Good job with the hands up, and didn't make it easy to get the ball into a flashing player, flashing into the paint. And end result is they get a chance to defend again.
Daquan Day Grant around the perimeter and inside to Howard, and he got fouled on the inside, and Matt Howard at 6'4", Dwayne playing large and providing AC Flora with some presence in the paint.
Yep. I can't say it enough about kid. Obviously a great basketball IQ to go with his academic prowess, as you mentioned earlier. But again, being able to play in the high school level, down in the paint at 6'4", 6'5", kids that are there, but have ball handling skills and a perimeter game, it only helps them when they go to college and actually move out to the 2 or the 3 position because they don't mind going in and giving up their body in the paint.
Davis nearly took it away, and it ends up belonging to Flora. Tyler Gray inside now to Boyles around the rim and in.
We're seeing the results of having your forward become your point forward, and
Howard couldn't handle the alley-oop pass, but he's able to clean it up.
Good job staying with it. And this is the pressure I was talking about that they would probably extend now that Williams is out of the game.
And this pressure from the Falcons is causing all sorts of problems, and we got enthusiasm on the AC Flora bench. Falcons got a timeout call after forcing another turnover. 30-second timeout here with 5:29 left in the first half.
Williams is back at the bench now, and the way he's lacing up, I would venture to say that his coach, Coach Bond, has decided that he's seen enough, and he's going to risk the extra foul on getting some stability back in this offensive unit.
Right, Darren Williams left with a bloody lip, or perhaps his nose. We weren't sure. I believe it was his lip, but he had to lead the ball game. He already had 3 fouls. At the time of that injury, they left him in with 3 fouls only about 6 minutes into the game.
Yeah, here's the flash to the middle after the ball is actually kicked loose. And great recognition right there, by the way, on the part of the AC Flora. And the one thing I want to say about this kid, Ryan Davis, this has got to be the smallest forward in the league. If you look at the offense that they're running, he's actually playing off the baseline, right at 6 feet even. And he's doing a great job.
There he is.
It's really creating a matchup problem that I'm starting to read for the big guys in regards to how they're running this offense.
Here's Darren Williams back in the game. Shot rimmed out to the right. Follow, no good. Too strong on the bank. Kept alive in there by number 13, Forrest Johnson. Williams gets a screen from Fino Davis. Bank shot wouldn't go, but Williams able to draw yet another foul. That's where he's very effective.
Quite the strong player, this young Williams. To be able to take the hit as he did, and with his body coming down, actually be able to get it above the rim and give it a chance at least to go.
Williams was 6 of 8 at the foul line yesterday. He led Flora McDonald in free throw attempts. And Dwayne, in talking with some of the folks at the Chick-fil-A here, the word on the street seems to be that Darren Williams, is a scoring point guard, obviously. And, that's something that there hasn't been a tremendous demand for at the major college level. You expect your point guard, the blueprint for success is to have a point guard that looks to pass and distribute perhaps more than score.
Right.
So what do you see in terms of prospects for Darren Williams? We know the kid can play.
Well, I like the idea that he can score. You can teach a player to pass. You can't teach a player to score. I really believe that. When they get to college, if they're score, they're score. But if he's not a passer, you can teach a guy to pass. And he can penetrate, he can defend. I like the kid, and now you have the option that he can also score. So you have many options with this young man once you teach him how to distribute the basketball.
Williams airballed the 3, but it went right to Rashad Anthony, and he put it in. AC Flora continues to lead Flora McDonald by 5 points. Baseline jumper, Ryan Davis off the back iron. Into the corner for an open shot. Yes, number 10 is Julian Moreno. I believe that's Moreno's first shot of the tournament. That's a great way to get your confidence up early on. I don't know that Moreno played in the opener on Wednesday night. We get to know
what. There he is. He gets a chance to measure it. You can tell he likes it. And the nice little left-handed set shot there goes for him. I think he saw that all the way, clearly.
And Moreno played 3 minutes on Wednesday night, but did not attempt the shot. So that's his first shot of the Chick-fil-A Classic, and he hits a 19-footer from the baseline.
Well, the junior might he might throw up a couple more after. It always feels good to have that first shot go down, and so we might see a few more shots out of him before this night's out.
3:40 to play until halftime. Emerson Phillips with Dwayne Everett. Doug First, our producer today here at the Richland Northeast High School gym. Day 3 of the Chick-fil-A Classic. It's been a strange day today. We mentioned the power outage. We thought it was just here at the school, but it turns out power was lost to a portion of Northeast Columbia. And we were without power in the main gym for nearly an hour. But we maintained power in the auxiliary gym across the hall. We had lights in the hallway, but none in the main gym. So here's AC Flora coming out with it. Out in front, number 11. Check it, that's Daquan Day Grant. And now 15, Richie Lewis scoring.
Scored through the hit too. Again, that's a powerful play right there, and it's great composure. You're not always going to get calls in the paint. There's certain crews that call it. This is a state championship crew right here, and so they're going to let you play through the basketball game. Very, very well officiated game, consistent on both ends.
Bounce feed from Kit. Now outside, three-pointer, wouldn't go. And Williams smacks the rebound. Yeah, smacked down a rebound, and he got hit and fouled as he crossed the timeline. Daquan Day Grant.
Great crossover right there to get the ball into the middle of the lane. And right there you see a few hands touching in there, but he still maintained control. And again, it's been consistent with the touching inside the paint on both ends. So great no call and great finish on his part.
Darren Williams continues to get to the foul line here. He had 3 fouls with over 10 minutes remaining in the first half. He got his lip bloodied, had to leave the game for a couple of minutes, but came right back in, and he has played ever since without picking up his 4th foul.
And he actually received that at the 10-14 mark, so it was just that 5 minutes that the injury bought him.
Ryan Davis on the interior for AC Flora. Falcons lead the Cougars by 5. Backdoor bounce pass. Williams couldn't finish with the left. Defended in there by James Murray Boyles. Now it's Ryan Davis. Yes.
Number 3, Ryan Davis. Great job. Davis again playing extremely big.
Offensive foul call as Davis came over to swat that ball out of bounds.
But the real key was James Boyles right there. As he saw the play develop, he slid down in a great help side maneuver, and it was great. Previous basket we were talking about with Ryan Davis, playing in the post position. Great situation that he has coming off of the short corner and sometimes from the wing.
Way to feed it inside. Boyle scores on the high percentage look after the bounce in. They bounced it into Boyles. He finished it down low. Foul on AC Flora here on Frederick Kitt.
Frederick Kitt is working hard to try and force Darren Williams out of his position of attacking into the paint. And he's doing a good job, but he's having to foul every now and then, but he's not able to do what he really wants to do, and that's to get the ball out of Williams' hand. He's trying to push him into the coffin over here on the sideline and make him have to pick the ball up. I think the game plan is take Williams out of this ball game because he is the spark plug of this team.
Quentin Morrell in for Frederick Kitt. For AC Flora, Matt Howard brings it up for the Falcons. Coming up on 1 minute remaining in the first half of this first semifinal in the Classic 2 tournament bracket. Howard jump pass inside, he flung it in there, and blocking it out was Rashad Anthony. Williams going the other way, bounce it over into the corner for a three-pointer, short by number 31, Ashanti Day, and this will be thunder from Matt Howard.
24, Matt Howard.
A little undisciplined transition defense there. A disappointment over a great breakdown and pass by Williams. No one rotated back to the top after he penetrated.
Anthony called for the offensive foul. Here's the dunk, Dwayne, by Matt Howard.
And there it is. As you see it get up the floor to keep it from walking, he puts it down one time on the floor and a flush. That was a fast break that was obviously uncontested, but no one wasted any time by putting the ball on the floor until he had to just before he entered the paint. So tremendous ball movement by Flora. They're playing a very disciplined ball game today. And quite frankly, they've improved upon that victory from the other night, I think.
Flora beat Hillcrest by 2 points on a last-second shot by Matt Howard. Now closing seconds of the first half. Good defense by the Cougars to prevent much of a shot by AC Flora before the horn. So we're at halftime. AC Flora from Columbia, South Carolina, leading Flora McDonald from Red Springs, North Carolina. 33-24, our halftime score.
Yep, and really a great ball game by AC Flora. I really feel like AC Flora, played as good a ball game against such a long team as you could play. Very disciplined. I was a little concerned early when they picked up all those fouls to put them in the double bonus, but it seemed to get their rhythm going, and ultimately once Williams was out of that ball game, they were in defensive rhythm, ready to rock and roll.
Flora's pressure defense forced numerous McDonald turnovers, and that has helped the Falcons from AC Flora to this 9-point halftime lead. We'll get a break. We'll come back with the start of the second half here on Chick-fil-A Classic and PlayOnSports.com. All right, thank you.
All righty.
Chick-fil-A for a year and help raise money for scholarships. Chick-fil-A has donated a #1 combo for each week of the year, that's 52 combos, to the Greater Columbia Education Advancement Foundation to be used as a silent auction item during this year's tournament. Place a bid on the sheet outside in the upstairs atrium for a chance to win. Meeting stops at the end of halftime of the Classic 2 championship game on Saturday evening. Second half coming up.
Start of the second half at the Richland Northeast High School gym. This is semifinal #1 of the Classic 2 tournament. And we've got, we had 2 ties and 6 lead changes in the first half. And AC Flora with a 9-point lead over Flora McDonald. Flora trying to become the 4th Columbia school to win the Chick-fil-A. If they can win this game, Dwayne, they'll be in the final tomorrow night.
Well, they've done some good things to put themselves in that position, and the one guy that was really instrumental in that, as I said, smallest forward I've seen out here, and that's Ryan Davis, #3 for AC Flora. He's done a great job attacking the basket, coming from either the short corner or from the wing position. He kind of gets lost and finds the open space.
Davis led all scorers with 14 points in the first half. Matt Howard with 9. Boyles has 6 and 2 points each for Marino and Gamble for AC Flora. For Flora McDonald, 12 points for Darren Williams, all coming from the foul line. He does not have a field goal, but he's got 12 points, all at the stripe. 4 points each for Rashad Anthony and Jared Scott. 2 points each for Richie Lewis and Ashanti Day.
Yeah, we've got an injured player on the floor right now. A tremendous blow to his thigh, and I believe you're probably going to find that he's got an injury to his thigh. It looks quite the collision there. You know, one of the keys is as they attend to the injured player on the floor, which we'll try to identify here in a second. But you know, one of the keys too was AC Flora shot 55.5% from the field and held Flora McDonald to 30% from the field. And while we talked about Williams, the leading scorer, of course, for Flora McDonald, he's 0 for 5 from the field. Everything was from the free throw line, 12 for 14 from the free throw line.
That's right, he was 0 for 5 from the floor.
And they're also 0 for 5 from three-point range too. So, you know, no one's hit a 3 tonight. But AC Flora hasn't taken but 2 of those. Everything's been very efficient and inside the paint quite often.
Flora forced 9 McDonald turnovers in the first half. The Falcons only committed 2 turnovers themselves. So it's a 9-point AC Flora lead. And the Falcons have the basketball on offense here with number 22, Tyler Gray, and it was thrown away in the corner. Beg your pardon, 4 Columbia schools have won the Chick-fil-A in years past. Keenan won it in 03, Low Richland and R&E won it in 2004, and Irmo won it 2 years ago when it was played at the Blythewood gym.
There you go. So, geez, you know, for such a prestigious tournament, you know, that is quite the accomplishment for the Columbia area schools.
Really is. We talked about the collection of fine teams from all over the country, and Irmo won the state championship later that year after they won the 2010 Chick-fil-A. 35-26, AC Flora. The Falcons have the basketball. 2 minutes gone by here in the second half. 22 is Tyler Gray. Now it's Matt Howard. Howard doubled, tries to skip it. Ball deflected, but the Falcons keep it. Howard moves baseline. Got defended nicely in there, but Howard able to finish over the outstretched arm of Rashad Anthony.
Tell you what, you just got to love Matthew Howard. He just grinds and grinds and grinds and gets it done. And I tell you, he's going to make a great player for Penn. They're really going to love picking this kid up.
Williams misses from 3. We're still without a 3-point basket in this ball game. Howard trying to get out and run, and he threw it away out of the reach of Tyler Gray.
Yeah, it was the right idea, though. You've got to like it as a coach. I can't see the frustration on the coach's face, and I don't blame him. You know, he's got to like the effort and the fact that he was looking forward. You've got an 11-point lead. You can afford a high-risk, high-reward kind of a play.
Rashad Anthony pounds it on the floor. That was Jared Scott, beg your pardon. Scott with the bucket. So the Flora lead remains 9. Now a takeaway, nearly taken away by Richie Lewis. Held ball on the floor.
Held ball, possession arrow. Goes to Flora McDonald.
Darren Williams with it, feeding it side of the lane. And a foul here on AC4. I believe they got Matt Howard. That's what it'll be, his first personal. So they lob it out to Darren Williams. Skip it, now drop it inside. This is Anthony. He'll be patient and rock the rim with a right hand. Boy, Anthony nearly brought the goal down with that big dunk. Flora's lead cut to 7. Howard nearly stepped out on the left sideline here, but we play on. Open 3 for the Falcons. Yes, first 3-pointer of the ball game, knocked in by Frederick Kitt.
I know Frederick Kitt's got to be feeling good about that because he's had to have this tremendous defensive assignment over here, and he couldn't concentrate on offense at all in the first half. So I know he feels good about that shot.
Ryan Davis with the steal and the jam.
Ryan Davis.
That's been the story for AC Flora, Dwayne. They have brought defensive pressure, and they have created turnovers that have led to some buckets.
Right, and right now they're making energy plays too. These guys are you see the help side come, and they're actually rotating as a team. They're playing very efficient since the 10-minute mark. They have become a very efficient basketball team.
Williams able to hang and draw more contact, so he's back up at the foul line. This young man, 12 of 14 from the line in the first half. And he's got himself another made free throw here. Substitutions for AC Flora. Carl Gamble leaves the ball game. And it is James Murray Boyles back in for the Falcons. 2-for-2 trip for Darren Williams. Now Williams comes out with a loose ball and another AC Flora foul. They'll get Boyles for impeding the progress of Darren Williams. Here's the dunk, Dwayne. Patience inside.
Right, there we go. And, you know, great footwork right there, you know, not to plant and pivot off of the pivot and not to get the turnover. And there's the breakaway by Ryan Davis. And then, of course, a great entry pass right there. And then, of course, it goes into a tied up position there. But it was a great entry pass. The only thing he fell short of was going forward on that little jump hook. Falling away, it caused him to drop short. He should have went with the jump hook right there. But he'll learn that as a young post player.
Held ball going after the rebound. Alternate possession to AC Flora. Side of the lane, Boyles put it on the floor, had it knocked away by Scott. Scott, long pass in front to Williams. Williams pinned against the backboard by Matt Howard, and a near steal by Tyler Gray. Out of bounds. It will remain Flora McDonald's basketball. Exciting action here at the R&E Gym. Started with the block shot. Perfectly timed and a considerable height advantage for Matt Howard.
But it's fundamental. He goes up with two hands, not one. He's able to brace himself, finish it, but it was well timed. Plus, it keeps him from actually going over the top of Williams. Just a headsy play on his part.
15, Wilson, the basket there for Flora McDonald. And an offensive foul call on AC Flora. Tyler Gray with a little bit of a push off with the free arm to draw the foul call. So the Cougars get it back here with a berth in tomorrow night's Classic 2 championship game on the line. Leaning in, Wilson put it up short. He'll follow his miss and get it swatted. Howard blocked it to Davis. Up in front, Howard hanging. He had it partially blocked. The tip wouldn't go. Davis had it blocked and he was fouled. Beg your pardon, that was number 4, Shelton Whitaker. Standout wide receiver for the AC Flora football team. The Flora Athletics have really made a comeback in the last 5 or 10 years, Dwayne. They have won multiple state championships in golf and baseball. Their football team is on the best 2-year run in the history of the program. In fact, Flora's football team this year was 9-1 during the regular year, and they did not lose to a team from within the state of South Carolina until they were beaten by Union County in the playoffs. And now Flora basketball winning a playoff game last year for the first time in 17 years. And Flora strong. Flora's always been a good academic school, and they've really made a resurgence in athletics here in the last decade.
Yeah, there's no question. I don't want to take away from what you're saying with AC Flora, but we've also seen in the Midlands a great improvement of nationally recognized players, in both basketball and football in a lot of the Midland area schools. Something that I think says a lot about the new young coaching staffs and some of the developmental programs. And I know in this community now you have several programs, actual workout youth programs that aren't just AAU basketball, but where kids can go and just work out with guys who just want to help players get better. And you're starting to see more and more of that in the city here. It's done a lot in Atlanta, Georgia, Augusta, Charlotte, those areas in our area, but now we're seeing it happen here. And I think we're seeing the product of a lot of that.
Foul shots here for Whitaker. Strong on that first effort. Whitaker averaged 30 yards per reception for the season. He was very much the deep threat for the AC Flora football team under head coach Dean Howell. Whitaker, limited action so far here in the Chick-fil-A. In fact, he did not play in the opener on Wednesday night, so he's getting his first action of the tournament here. Flora led by as many as 12, but McDonald has cut it to 8. Anthony didn't want the jumper. Now he'll put it on the floor and slice right side. Missed, but followed up and in by 24, Jared Scott.
Jared Scott.
Daquan Day-Lewis, number 1, over to Matt Howard. That's a 3-point attempt, no good. Rebounded by Rashad Anthony. Darren Williams quickly the other way. Scoop shot, wouldn't drop. And a foul on McDonald going after the rebound sent Shelton Whitaker to the floor.
Number 13, Forrest Johnson, is third.
3 personals on Forrest Johnson. Now for the Cougars. Bullet pass inside. Davis hit, and he scored it. He took a big shot in midair.
I tell you what, this is the kid you just gotta love this kid. You know, he's a tweener, but he's gonna find somebody's roster to play on. I really believe when it comes time next year, he'll be at some mid-major playing somewhere. Probably learn to play the 3, just based on size alone.
He's got a knack for playing inside, also, doesn't he, despite the fact that he's only listed at 6'1".
But I missed it. I was looking at the roster. I looked at a bad angle. He's only a sophomore.
Yeah.
So he's got some growth possibilities in him as well. Plus, Coach could develop a different approach for him, Coach Brunson, later on. But right now, he's so effective playing off of that short corner and then playing along the baseline, and then he just pops out on the wing and sort of starts his offense there from the wing as well. Kind of interesting.
We mentioned McDonald running with limited players today. They only dressed 8 for this ball game. So they've got a very thin bench.
And amongst all this pressure, I would say you seem like you wanted a bench just a tad bit deeper if you could. But, I guess in this case, one thing we're rest assured every player for Florida McDonald will play.
So Davis finishes the 3-point play to give AC Flora a 9-point lead again. Scott spins baseline, tried to bounce it inside to Forrest Johnson, and scored finally by Rashad Anthony.
Anthony's got a lot of talent built up in him, and we've yet to see all the things that Anthony actually can do. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it'll be at the college level, and you'll remember this, but it'll be at the college level that you'll go, wow, I remember that guy's name, but I didn't remember him doing a lot, because so much happens through Williams. But this kid at some point in time is going to be whipped into shape to be able to play the college game.
Matt Howard hustled back to defend the breakaway by Darren Williams. Now a steal by Ryan Davis. He'll lob it over. Back it goes to Whitaker. Couldn't finish, but Davis will.
Williams disgusted with his teammates for not getting back. He did just enough to break up the first shot. If they had not given up on the play, even though they had numbers that they come with him, they could have ended up possibly stopping that offensive rebound. He was not happy with his teammates, and he shouldn't be as a floor leader.
3-pointer from the left wing by Darren Williams. It's his first 3-pointer of the ball game. He had 5 yesterday in McDonald's victory over Miller School. Davis lays it off for Howard. Howard swatted inside by Anthony. Now it's Wilson front court for Williams for another 3, not this time. Howard battling with Forrest Johnson. There's some contact and foul shots coming up here for Jared Scott, 6'7" senior.
Tell you what, that was a headsy play on the floor on the part of, let's see, I believe that was Richie Lewis that had the mindset to snatch that ball out of the crowd and almost from a prone position to kick it out and almost get the easy chippy there.
6:44 remaining, and Jared Scott cuts the Falcons' lead to 6 points. And we have,
I believe we got some blood on the floor, and they're now trying to determine which player. But I think they've got some blood, so they're gonna look for the blood, because by rule, of course, you got to come off the floor under the bloodborne regulation. So
the floor has been cleared here. Plenty more high school basketball to come today. Up next on this floor, we will have Wheeler, Georgia versus St. John Bosco. That's a semifinal in the Classic 1 tournament. And then we'll have the other 2 semifinal matchups starting at 7 o'clock tonight. That's if we're on schedule. We had a power outage earlier tonight, earlier this afternoon, and power was out in the main gym for almost an hour. So we may be a little bit behind schedule, but we're scheduled for a 7 o'clock start tonight for Lowell Richland and Deerfield Beach. That's the other semifinal in this bracket, the Classic 2 tournament. And then at 8:30 tonight, scheduled start time for Richland Northeast and Blanche Ely, the other semifinal in the Classic 1 bracket. So we got the floor cleaned up here, and second foul shot no good by Jared Scott.
And we likewise have a great ball game here, looking like it's going to finish with a 5-point spread with
Ryan Davis continues to fill it up here. Dwayne, he led all scorers with 14 in the first half, and he's picked right up in the second half.
Yeah, this kid is the key. I'm going to tell you, in this particular ball game, he has done a lot to disrupt the size difference on the offensive side of the floor. He has come from angles that have created some mismatch problems, being a 6'1" forward.
Scott scores in close. Flora by 5. Flora McDonald's got a height advantage on AC Flora. Here's Williams on the break with left hand, no finish. Anthony had the rebound and it was held. And on the alternate possession, it will remain with Flora McDonald.
Williams getting disgusted with himself. He's used to finishing those shots once he gets in deep into the paint, and especially where he's beat players. And of course, he's coming up a little short, and a lot of times that's evident of a guy that's just tired, you know, because he plays a lot of minutes and back-to-back days.
Anthony went to dunk it. Wasn't a clean dunk, but it did go. So it's AC Flora by 3 as we move inside of 5.5 minutes remaining. And a foul here on Flora McDonald. Richie Lewis called for the personal, going for the steal.
And we see Coach Brunson issuing out instructions right now. You know, he is, you can watch his eyes. He is all over the floor, making sure his players are positioned correctly.
Matt Howard takes it by Anthony, hangs and gets it to drop. Tough shot with one hand by Matt Howard. Jared Scott with a loose ball in the lane. That leads to a layup.
Way to stay with it. You know, you get that ball bounces around with your post players, and of course right now you're getting desperation and energy activity now.
Matt Howard misses but comes up with a steal, and he got cut off on the baseline.
As I told you, when we talk about energy, that's what I mean. Those are energy plays. Those are plays where a guy is into the game offensively, he's into it defensively, and in this particular case, Howard has been on both sides of the floor. Here he is right here as he spins around after the steal, you know, and he's still attacking. The whole time he's in attack mode. And of course, he was bailed out a little bit there, but again, he was in attack mode, and that got him the call.
Hustle play all the way for Matt Howard. He's a good foul shooter. Made a pair there to put Flora back in front by 5 points. And another timeout has been taken. Emerson Phillips with Dwayne Everett here on PlayOnSports.com and on ChickfilAClassic.com. Glad you're with us for day 3 of the Chick-fil-A Classic. So out of the timeout, the Cougars from Flora McDonald will bring it up with number 15. That's Wilson. And he'll feed it inside to Anthony, trying to back down his man. Defended well, but a foul called here. Defended not so well after all. Carl Gamble called for the personal. Gamble really trying to get right up in the face of Rashad Anthony and defend that turnaround. Anthony misses the first foul shot.
Free throws become critical at this juncture, and it's important in close ball games to make free throws. Down the stretch, it'll be the one stat that oftentimes in games decided by 5 points or less that has decided the ball game.
Anthony missed them both, and Howard with a rebound, tried to throw it off of Wilson, not able to do so. It's right to Williams. Williams going in, no, but he was fouled. Yes, he did draw contact. I believe they'll get Ryan Davis.
It ended up being Kit. Davis kind of slid by. It was Kit who was trying to body him up and possibly decide which way he was going to go with the crossover. But, you know, it's difficult to anticipate this guy's moves. I mean, he is as swift as a cat when it comes to the open floor. All you can do is in most instances, in my opinion, is wait on him to go airborne when he's by himself and then go after the shot. I mean, because of his size, you're better off that way to avoid the foul.
3 points to Flora lead after the McDonald foul shots. Ryan Davis moving front court. Got it to Howard. Lost by the Falcons. And this is Williams again. He'll finish with the left.
And that's that open floor, and that's where he becomes so dangerous. And AC Floor's got to be careful. They made ill-advised spin move on a trapping defense. You don't see the guy coming. You don't want to turn your back on defenders when they start trapping. You got to start playing smart and not athletic. And athleticism can get you in trouble in a trapping situation.
Timeout from the Flora bench. Leon Brunson, head coach of the Falcons, got that timeout call. He knew his player was in trouble.
Yeah, and it was definitely a headsy play on the coach's part at that point, because the players' heads at that point are in the game, and quite often they can forget that that's a bailout tool for them. And it's great when they change the rule to allow coaches to do it, because you know, there were years ago that you used to have to holler it, and in the right atmosphere, you couldn't even hear the coach. So it's given you an opportunity to at least be a part of bailing your team out of a bad situation.
So we look at the undermanned Flora McDonald bench. We mentioned they've only dressed 8 players for this game. 7 in your screen right there, and we've got one other player who has moved to the end of the bench to get water.
Emerson, it looks like this is all we talked about. The last 3 minutes of every ball game yesterday was you know, the lead starting to change and the strategies that would you know, somewhat ensue as these teams would try to win very close ball games, and we're right back to a 1-point ball game.
Whitaker fires it out to Kit. Now Howard's got it. He's doubled or trapped and got it back over to Kit. Back to Howard, and Howard fouled by Wilson. It's 4 fouls on Wilson, 16 fouls on McDonald. So the next one will put AC Flora in the bonus. Exactly 3 minutes remaining. The winner moves on to the finals of the Classic 2 tournament. Championship game will take place tomorrow night. A takeaway, Williams with the right-hand layup.
And there's where the transition game and the pressure comes into play, and the value of Darren Williams, as they have overcome a 7-point deficit very quickly to take that lead.
Bounce it into Davis, and Davis finishes as the defender might have flopped there, Stacy. I don't know if he lost footing and fell or was trying to draw it a foul, but it did not stop Ryan Davis, and the assist to Matt Howard. Howard got another partial block. Out of bounds to the Falcons.
Yeah, and the play you had down here, you were correct. He bailed out on the play. It was a good no call because it definitely was a semi-flop. But he definitely bailed out before there was really any significant contact. It was a great no call again by the officials. We've seen several of those in this ball game.
So the Davis basket has given Flora the lead again after Williams had moved McDonald in front by 1:51 to play, and it's out of bounds to AC Flora.
Williams is all energy now, and he's intent, but the official caught that left foot going out of bounds. He thought he had gotten the ball back in, which he did, but I think he overlooked the fact that left foot went out of bounds. But right now he's just playing with a lot of intensity, and so he wants every call, every ball right now.
Kitt put up the air ball from 3 and a held ball on the floor, tied up, and that will keep it with AC Flora. Now the alternate possession arrow will favor Flora McDonald with 1:45 left.
Really like the heads-up play of Williams directing traffic, even on the defensive end of the floor. He's moving players around, and he's communicating.
Jump pass.
Something that definitely.
Oh, Davis the tip in. Howard passed him open, but Davis missed the first shot and was able to tip in his own miss. And a hand check here, and a foul coming up on AC Flora.
Oh, here's the play again by Davis that you just mentioned. As he stays with his shot, now the first one doesn't go, his eyes stay on it. You can see him intently going, and over the trees, he comes through the middle and puts it back in. And you saw the entire time he watched the ball through the shot and through the rebound, never lost connectivity with the basketball. That's a tremendous play by Ryan Davis.
Davis got to be closing in on 30 points in this ball game. He had 14 at halftime to lead all scorers. And a missed foul shot here by Flora McDonald, and a strong rebound by Daquan Day Grant. This is Grant, guarded by the much taller Ashanti Day. Davis hangs and banks and scores.
This has been the Ryan Davis show. We talked about Darren Williams, but at the end of the day, the most efficient player on the floor has turned out to be Ryan Davis.
And Rashad Anthony contested. Matt Howard will rock the rim.
And Howard, of course, has been the excitement for the Falcons. And Darren Williams wants us to remember he's still on the floor, though.
And Williams commits the quick foul. Remember, he had 3 fouls in the first 5.5 minutes.
And this is his first foul second half with less than a minute to play.
And that long 3 on the pull-up keeps Flora McDonald in this ball game. AC Flora had opened up a 7-point cushion. Williams hit the bomb on the other end to cut it to 4. And now the Falcons from AC Flora will go to the line with Daquan Day Grant.
Well, it's still a two-possession game. It's a short 2-possession game right now. If he makes both free throws, it makes it a wider 2-possession. But now it's still a 2-possession. No need to rush into a 3. A 2 would work.
This is Williams, yes. Boy, he has been a real force in this tournament.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has. This is a tremendous effort on Williams' part to just single-handedly keep his team in this game. He single-handedly really worked them back into a lead, short-lived. But now, after seeing the spacing, he is doing it again. But this is going to be the last effort on Frederick Kitt's part to try and keep the ball out of Darren Williams' hands. And as you see, he's picking him up all the way in the front court, as far away as he is from the play at hand. You
Here's
see
Matt Howard to make it a 4-point game. Yes, Matt Howard, excellent at the foul line. Williams, follow jam. Boy, that was pretty by 25, Rashad Anthony. Clock ticking down. It's a 2-point ball game, 2.7 seconds remaining. And a foul committed by Flora McDonald. That should be 5 on Wilson.
Actually, that was a great play on the part of Ryan Davis. As you notice, he took the ball out of the basket. He did not rush to throw it in. He walked out. He allowed some time to go off the clock. He looked at the clock, saw 2 or 3 seconds go off, then he inbounds it. He knows that a 5-second count, he can use the clock. I thought that was a tremendous play. It's a mature play. You don't see many high school kids do that. You know, and at the college level, it's immaterial because the clock stops. But to see a high school kid have the savvy to do that and not get caught in the excitement as he watched the clock, but not too long. I thought that was great.
Daquan Day Grant with an important foul shot to make it a 3-point game. Now it's a 4-point game, and it should be all mathematics barring a foul. And that's your ball game. The Falcons from AC Flora High School here in Columbia will move on to the Classic II championship game that will take place tomorrow night against either Deerfield Beach, Florida, or Lower Richland High School from Hopkins, South Carolina.
It was a great ball game that we just watched, and I hope our viewers enjoyed and appreciated everything those kids just did.
Dwayne Everett, my broadcast partner today. Doug First, our producer. And thanks to our crew from Play On Sports. Glad you're with us today here on ChickfilAClassic.com and on PlayOnSports.com. I'm Emerson Phillips. More high school basketball to come here at the 11th Annual Chick-fil-A Classic. Thanks for tuning in.